Guys, so I know that in our last video I was in uniform and I apologise for not being in uniform this time, but I've just got back from tag leader and obviously we came home with civvies and I needed to get changed, and wearing uniform was not my first priority, but I have cadets tomorrow so I'll try and sort something out for then. But it's been 2 weeks of Fieldcraft and Canadians and British and revising Fieldcraft and doing shooting, some PT and going back to Fieldcraft, and it was very tedious, and I've come back and I love it. I think I said before I left in my last video that I did not like Fieldcraft at all, but now that I've done all this and I had the time to just focus on it and understand it, I have to say that it's not actually that bad. I know everyone has their preferences and I still would rather do something else than do Fieldcraft, but I don't think Fieldcraft sits at such a low standard where I've been at before, and I honestly do love it a lot more now, and I'm glad to be back home. I have to admit, I think when you go away for 2 weeks, people go away for longer, I get that. When you go away for 2 weeks, you miss things that you kind of took for granted. That it sounds weird, but I miss my brothers, I miss my mum, I missed being able to be with everyone. I miss my cadet friends as well. You go away and sometimes you have someone there, sometimes you don't. But I made so many more friends. I've made so many new friends, and my Snapchat has got people who are going to be all over in Canada and people that are going to be all around the UK. I'm so lucky to have all this range of friends. But it was definitely worth going. I know I said before, try and get on every single camp you can get on. Same time, think of it wisely. If you've already passed 3-star Fieldcraft, don't go do it again just to revise. That's pointless. Revise at home, because obviously cadets isn't your whole life. There are other things happening. School still matters. If you do other things, I do dance as well outside of school, and I do other things, they still take priority. And so it's just trying to make sure that you're keeping an eye on where you're prioritising things. But I just want to say, Exercise Tiger Leader was an amazing thing. And the Canadians, so you had the choice of going, you had the area where you could go to 6 weeks and go to Canada. The Canadians get the same thing, but they come to Europe. They come to the UK. And when they come to the UK, they do the same thing that we would have when we went to Canada. So these British people and these UK people that they're meeting as they go along, who we're thinking, oh, we're just doing Tiger because we can't get onto this, you're helping these people who have come over, what we wanted to do, and have experienced the UK. And it was incredible. I think 2 weeks was the longest that they had with us, with the UKs. But it was so fun. And meeting all of them, they were so nice. And I found a lot of stereotypes weren't true, but it was very lovely. And honestly, all I can say is that all these big events, they do add up for things. We were going to do a 3-star Fieldcraft, some people were going to do a 4-star. Obviously, it got too hot over this period of time. It got to 34, 35. It was very, very warm. And obviously, when it gets above 30 degrees, you have to stop training. So we didn't manage to pass our 3-star Fieldcraft. But everything that you've done over that weekend, everything that adults have picked up on, gets reported back to every single contingency or every single detachment that you relate to. So obviously there was ACF and CCF there. But it was... So my DC is going to sit there and she's going to get a report. Hopefully good. But she'll probably get something saying about what happens, stuff on camp, my attitude and stuff. And obviously that makes you look a lot better. And this experience that you get, even though it was only 2 weeks, I feel when I go back to detachment, my discipline will be a lot better. Because obviously Canadian cadets, their discipline on a lot of things, surprisingly, is actually a lot harsher than ours is. And so they're a lot stricter, I feel compared to what we have. So just looking at that compared to the British cadets, I feel if I can put some of that discipline more into our detachment, more into cadets, there might be more passes, there might be more people coming in, because it gives people a more wanting approach to cadets, because you know that you're going to be treated like the real army, the regulars. You have that freedom, but it is a lot more disciplined. And obviously, when you're in cadets, it is a lot more relaxed because you're only a certain age, you're only a certain era, but you still have to take it with a pinch of salt. Like, I feel like sometimes they let us off too easy, but that's not for me to decide. But again, leading by example, being the leader. So people do this. People say do what I say, not what I do. But then at the same time, people go monkey see, monkey do. You have all these phrases that contradict each other, and you don't know where they go. And I agree with monkey see, monkey do. Like, obviously, sometimes you can't demonstrate to someone, and that's do as I say, do as I say, not as I do. But at the same time, if you have that opportunity to show someone that you can do it, show them. Don't give them a bad example. Just because you know how to do it, they don't, and that's not fair on them, making them have false hopes, making them have false ideas and thoughts, because obviously they're not going to understand that. But I just want to say, definitely go on camps like that. I don't know if you guys, like, there was a formal, we were told there was a formal dinner, there wasn't, but because all the UK cadets had brought all their formal dress, we were allowed to wear it, which was very nice. And yeah, everything kind of worked out. I would definitely recommend going on these big camps. Don't ever be scared of being homesick, because I admit I was homesick on the first day. I was very much like, Mom, can you please pick me up? Mom, I don't want to be here anymore. And then, because I was so nervous, I'd never been away 2 weeks. I'd been away a week and a half, but never 2 weeks. And because my mum was like, oh, I can't pick you up until the weekend, so I stayed those first few days. And suddenly I made friends, and mum was like, do you want me to still pick you up? And I went, no way. I was like, I don't want to pick me up, I want to stay here as long as possible. And then today when we were all leaving, everyone was crying, and it was just so emotional because we made such good connections, and it was so worth going and making them, because hopefully I can stay with all the people that I've met and everything, and I can keep talking to everyone. But I just wanted to cover that, just say, go for like all the big camps, make sure you go for the ones that you know you want to achieve. But yeah, thank you.